right, what's up, guys? Welcome back again to Grind Lifestyle. Today, man, it's been a while since we've done an episode. I think it's been like 6 weeks or whatever. But we've got Matt Ferrani. Matt plays guitar for Jelly Roll. Like Jelly Roll, obviously, is one of the biggest dudes on the planet. Amazing, amazing musician. From what I hear, an amazing person. I've actually met him once when he played Grants Pass at a tiny little venue when he was still rapid. So, Matt, welcome to the show, bro.
Hey man, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it for real.
Yeah.
Glad to be
Yeah,
here.
so I had Matt, I had you on Hero's Journey podcast. We were in studio a couple times, and not only at the time, I think you were talking about you had just done some shows with, I think it was Teddy Swims.
Yep. Yep.
You were playing with him, and then you did some shows with Jelly Roll and whatnot, and we were talking about you as a solo artist coming
Yep.
on and the grind, and and Scott can attest to this because both of us have our music out there that we're stepping away from our projects. Scott's in Saving Abel, stepping away and doing his thing, and I'm stepping away from Elvis Monroe. And you actually left Brett Young, playing with Brett Young for, I don't
Yep.
know, 8 years or whatever
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
been
8 or 9, something like
to
that.
do this. So I want to get into this to our listeners out there that are watching this. Like, take us on this journey with you, and that led you up to how Nick just introduced you, and the process, because you have music out there that as Nick
Yeah.
said off camera, he found and fell in love with. And I was always a fan. I mean, we did
Yeah, for
shows
sure.
together as solo. You
Yeah.
you
Yeah. Yeah.
played together. That kind of thing. Your solo stuff. No, please.
So man, I mean, I got to do so many cool things with Brett, and he let me open up a bunch of shows and but there just came a moment where I realized that there were a lot of boxes being checked off, but there wasn't like some specific ones that I thought that I still had some business trying to check off. And so I needed, when you you play 180 shows a year with somebody, I mean that's a lot of time plus travel and so I just needed to be able to free up something to be able to focus on some of these boxes, which are putting out new music, which are, trying to catch up with these kids going viral on all the internet stuff, uh,
True.
and write songs that are meaningful in the process and try to be a great dad, all these things. And so I knew I still was gonna have to play shows. I just had to be in my own schedule. And so that was really like the flip. I got the support from my wife just to get out of my comfort zone and like, baby bird's gotta leave the nest, man. So just jump out that MFer and hope for the best. And to me, it's like because I'm a grind guy, it's like I used to only play 3 shows a weekend and got to save some money and got to take my wife on vacations. Now I was playing like 6 shows a week, just scraping. That was just to keep up with any sort of lifestyle I used to have. So all that. That's why I was in Vegas for the whole week. That's why I was taking any little opportunity, private shows here, basement shows. And I loved it. I played on Broadway, but just being in charge, I got to block out mornings for rights. I got to try to get better with the phone in your face. I got to, just start working on things that I needed to improve on and that wasn't sitting back and just getting the paycheck and doing the, rinse repeat stuff. I had to get uncomfortable a little bit. So
Right.
figured it out. And as soon as I had just started to get it like comfortable with being uncomfortable, that's when the Lord, the universe, whatever you want to say, like dropped this jelly thing into my lap. And it was just like, me and my wife looked at it. And basically, she was like, he's the only one. Like, because I've played for him before, like, I've played for him a bunch of times before. This was just a very full circle, crazy 10-year thing. And here we are, dude. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy.
So what is it like going from Jelly Roll, obviously playing stadiums, to doing your solo stuff? Because like,
Yeah.
is it cool to like play those intimate shows where you're playing for people that are just like fans of you, of like the music's resonating with them, and it's like obviously smaller shows, but does it mean more to you to do that, or is it about the same, jumping up
There's
on stage for tens of thousands of people?
there's definitely days where basically as long as there's interaction, like I can like I'm a performer. So like I can perform like, even if I'm performing to 10, I perform to 10, 10,000 or whatever scale it however you want. There are days where let's say we just played the Rose Bowl in front of 40,000 people. And then I just yesterday, whatever came back. And yesterday I played a gig to literally two people all day from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So going from that to like not even just singing songs for 4 hours, not even being able to perform to nobody. The this how do I say it? Just it doesn't reconcile immediately. It has to like, nope, we're doing this for a reason.
Yep.
Yes, it sucks right now, but that's me going to the gym. It's like I can't only sing 3 times a month and be awesome. Like I gotta sing all the time. So I go to the gym, so to speak, 2 days a week on Broadway, play two gigs, and it keeps me in shape.
Wow.
You had
Yeah,
you had mentioned that there was a list of items that you felt like you needed to improve on, self-improvement, getting better. It's kind of that grind
yeah,
mentality.
yeah.
What's that? What's at the top of that list? What is that one thing where you're like, man, if I'm going to be successful, I've got to fix this.
Well, I just like anything, I think it was time. And if let's say if artistry, like my songs, me as an artist want to get out there, me opening up tours, me trying to break through that way, I needed to at least spend as much time as I was spending being Brett Young's guitar player. Like, and something had to give there. I knew I had to grind more for that than this. And so that's why I gave up time to do this. And it's still I'm actually getting to do more now. I've released 3 songs in the past 3 months, like once a month, basically, because of the financial freedom that now playing for Jelly's allowed me to do. Now I can do it all right now. And it's like the perfect case scenario. But it's taken me like 2.5 years to really be able to get that, like from point A to point B.
Good for you,
Wow.
dude.
Is
That's
dude as
awesome.
is dude as humble behind closed doors as he is in front of the public eye? Because he seems like a very humble individual.
Yes, he is. Like anybody else though, like if you're empty, it's very hard to be giving if you're empty. So a lot of times when he's around us, he's recharging. So it's cool, like, but he gives us any energy he's got. And yeah, obviously very humble. He's one of the greatest dudes I know.
Man, I think I met you with him backstage at a Shinedown show,
Yeah,
in like Biloxi.
yep,
And I was hanging out. Zach brought me over and I went over and said hi. And Jelly goes, "Man, you didn't tell me who you were." And I was like, "Well, nobody told me who you were either." But he didn't have the notoriety yet that he does now.
yeah,
And part of me was there to see Jelly Roll, but I got to kick it
yeah,
with him for like 5 or 10 minutes, and he had to leave really abruptly because he was like, "I got to film my content. I got to film my content," and he was just grinding away. And I was like, "Man, he's one of us." But he was
yeah,
he was just such a sweetheart of a human being for that 5 minutes, and it really resonated with me as an artist and as a fan.
yeah.
That's the person I want to be. You know.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of us tattooed crazy people running around his camp, but there's when every time I bring my wife around, he's like, "Matt, got the way, Shauna, what's up, sis? How you
Uh,
make sure to come say hi to my wife." Like just little tiny stuff that goes a long long way, for sure.
it says a lot about you, man, to be playing with excuse me, people like Brett Young and Jelly Roll, who are on top of the food chain, and you are bouncing from one artist to the next, but in the meantime you're weaving your stuff and making time for yourself. But it
Yeah,
says a lot about your talent. That's huge. You are one talented individual, uh, as a songwriter, as an artist. That we sat and listened to your album on my show on one episode, just going through it and
yeah,
breaking it
yeah,
down, and that was a lot of fun. I had a great time. But to know that it's on the highest level, man, you're playing on the highest level. Every
Yeah.
time I turn around, he gives you props on stage. He's always giving you props. He's always, shouting out to the mustache man or whatever it is you got
Yeah.
going on at that time. He's always pointing that out to the crowd. And he's grateful, that you're there, which is
Yeah.
really cool. So friend to friend, I'm really proud of you.
Thanks, man.
Because these are moments that it's all we get. I'm
Yeah.
sitting down with my buddies right now.
Yeah.
Everyone, I know everyone in this group, and I know everyone pretty well to sit down and just have a conversation. And we get to share this with everybody else out there who doesn't know, might not know who Nick and Scott and Jesse, who is Jesse, I just found out is the mayor. He just
Yeah.
drops that on us,
Which is awesome.
which is
Yeah,
great.
badass.
And these are really cool things. And Scott's going off and blowing up his world in the best way. And you said it, and I know Scott and I are both like, I hate having to stare at the damn camera on my phone and make content, but it's something we have to do.
Yeah.
And
I do it.
it's because it's a new space, it's a new world. It's not just about writing music and putting, stuff out there. It's not about that. It's everything else that goes with it, which is,
I'll tell
and
you
I,
what it
yeah,
prepares you for, which is really funny. During the pandemic, I did my first sort of like living room concert, and it
Okay.
prepares you for those nights where you play to two people and nobody gives a shit and they don't clap because you finish in your living room and there was nobody there to begin with.
Yeah.
You put it all out there and you sing. Maybe it's like a big grand ending and you hit the high note and your vibrato's there and you hit that last chord. Crickets.
right?
Like sick, dude. Nice.
Yeah.
I remember talking to my buddy Chris from the Ataris, like when the pandemic hit, he had to pivot because like all the Ataris, if you like remember, like they just toured all the time. And like that's how he made his money. He had nothing else. So he pivoted into doing concerts from his kitchen, dirty dishes, his dog barking. And he's like, same thing Scott was saying. There's nobody. Like you're playing, for 1,000 people, 5,000 people, whatever. And all of a sudden the world shuts down. You're in your kitchen, you're playing music, and he's just like, it's the most humbling,
Yeah.
craziest, weirdest thing to get through. But once he figured it out, he's like, that revenue stream was insane. And then learning all these new things about social media,
Yeah.
finding a new audience and younger people that are just hooked to their phones all the time, finding, their old songs that they had from back in the day when they played Warped Tour of all these new fans. And he's just like, it's been a really cool experience. So hearing stuff like that from people from those kind of bands that I've been fans of for a long time is really cool. And then passing that on to the bands that we work with within the management company of, hey guys, if you want to make it, it's not like it was 10 years ago where you just put something out and hope it hits. Now you've got to actually get your face on the camera 2, 3 times a day,
Yeah.
play live, play cover songs, this, that, whatever. And so it's been a really cool experience for me anyway, learning different things to teach people and just kind of jumping into that whole world of you get your first viral video, which I just had my first viral video on my page finally, which is
Amazing.
awesome. So I'm like,
Amazing.
hell yeah. And, so it's kind of a cool thing and just, chasing that, just kind of chasing that social media stuff. Do you have any other advice for upcoming musicians that want to try to break out and do something different and kind of set themselves apart from everybody else out there?
Well, the what I will say is, and this is just what I'm practicing when I'm preaching right now, because I don't exactly know. I haven't gone had a viral moment yet, but I know that just even without, let's say, it yielding results, it's healthy to be disciplined to stick to it. Like, so you know what I'm saying? Like, because the discipline, you'll get nuances, you'll find different things to improve upon your how you present your 3 times a day, if that's what you want to say. But just to stay disciplined to do it, even when it sucks, even when it's not popping,
Hmm.
like any extra time you can put into it, the better. So, and I'm going through it right now where it's like I'm doing it and it's not giving me the results I want. And I want to go snap the motherfucker in half, but
Well, you find out what
you know,
works, dude. It's like
yeah,
I found that, my fans, love the fact that I cook. I'm not great at
Okay.
it, but I
Okay.
created a character called Chef Bartlett. And I literally wear one of these cowboy hats and I put like a chef's hat on top of it. It looks ridiculous.
It is
And
awesome. It is
and
awesome.
I just make fun of myself and and people are like, I love the fact that you don't have a recipe, that you just eyeball it. That's how I do it. All of a sudden you picked up 10 of their friends because they
Yeah.
identify with just how stupid you are in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then they're like, wow, it turns out you could play guitar too. Like you met people because you cooked something that was borderline inedible. And then and then they're like, oh, you play music too. And then I got to go through 7 steps of, you've probably heard the song Addicted. You just don't know it. You can't like, and then it's off to the races. But it all stemmed from something so mundane,
Yeah.
making guacamole.
Yeah.
It's wild, dude.
Well, and that plays part in the way that things are going in the new digital era, right? With social media, everybody wants to feel close to the people that they're following. So it's one thing to hear the song on the radio, but they want to know the story behind the song and they want to know how it was created, where it was created, who wrote the music, what is their story. People now in 2025 are doing more research than they have ever done on individuals as well as different products to potentially purchase than has ever been done. Sales market funneling has changed from a funnel marketing strategy to a category that's social media driven, right? Facebook, Meta, Instagram, TikTok. So their switch is absolutely huge for the same reasons. And so it's there's a lot going on right now to where people want more behind the scenes stuff because the music is readily available, right? With YouTube and different streaming, you
Yeah.
can go grab the song at the snap of a finger and have it. They don't need social media for that. What they are leaning on social media for is literally everything else that you're doing on a day to day. And so it's from what I've witnessed, getting to know Brian, who I knew first, and then Scott, and becoming close with them and getting to become friends with a couple of really good musicians, and then Nick being in the industry forever. It's been interesting to watch everybody navigate and learn these new channels, right? So it's
Yeah.
there, there is so much going on, but people, and it's all driven by people just wanting to know the stories. They're wanting to know this, right? They're wanting to
Yeah.
know that you just put
Yeah.
your baby down and you're here talking. They're wanting to know that Scott has set his phone up on a box of ginger beer with a bottle propping it up. They give more shit about that, right? They care more about that than they do about the first two lyrics of the song because they can go grab that song anywhere they want.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so it's different, man. It's
Yeah.
everything is changing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And you jumping on here is you doing your part as well. You jumping on, taking the time, making the time to sit down with us. We appreciate it. But this is also you doing your part and getting stuff out there
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
these will be reels that go out. You and I had some pretty decent uh, clips, do well from you sitting down with me the couple times that you did, and we had a third. Remember
Yeah. Yeah.
we missed it just by like that much, but this is so great. Now I got to ask because you just mentioned you played the Rose Bowl. I played the Rose Bowl once.
Okay.
It was amazing. I got to play with Rod Stewart, and I was opening for him. And one of my one of the guys at the time, Steve Bertrand is his name. He great songwriter, wrote a lot of stuff for TV and things, and he opened the show, and it was really weird because I remember him being in the locker room, walking in, and I'm like, "Whoa, I'm warming up to your stuff, like his album, right? What are you
Yeah.
doing here?" He's like, "I'm opening the show," and I'm like, "What?" Like he was opening for me, then Rod Stewart, and
That's
I.
wild.
But what he comes, he's like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm by myself, acoustic," and I'm like, "Whoa, the Rose Bowl," like, and he's
Yeah.
by himself. He comes landing in a helicopter, walks out of the helicopter, takes the stage, and I went, bro, like, how do I follow that? Like, that's
That's LA is, by the
legendary, like that is so badass,
Crazy.
and Ray Liotta and the guy and Kevin Smith and Jay and Silent Bob, they're all in my dressing room and whatever. So really cool stuff. But what I'm saying is there are moments about being on the road that stick out, and that's one. So are there any moments being out with Jelly Roll that you're just like, I can't believe this just happened, or I can't believe I got to, do whatever. That isn't just the crowd situation. Are there like cool moments that you're like, pinch me, I'm here?
Yeah, I mean, we just did a Super Bowl show for the Madden thing, Madden 24
Whoa.
party. So we just did that, and Sugar Sean O'Malley was sitting right behind my piano the whole time watching. So I was like, "What's up, G?" That was cool. You know what I mean? I like watching all that shit. So like that was
Yeah,
cool.
We are all UFC buffs here, all things
Yeah,
yeah,
so,
MMA.
yeah,
yeah.
love that shit. So like that was real cool. Got to meet Tyson at the Vegas airport. That was insane. Um, I remember just like weird stuff, and it's never music centric. Like Public Enemy came out with us, like that was cool. Just sitting side stage watching Flavor Flav run around and scream. I mean, the Shinedown guys came up just sang with us. That was real cool. Um, because they were like on the fence if they wanted to just do like acoustic or if they were gonna let Jelly's band like back them up. And like we just beat the shit out of the songs, like sounded real good, and they were like, "All right, let's do it." So that
Whoa,
was
no way. So
yeah,
you
that
got
was
to play
Very cool.
play for them?
yeah. We get to play with Shinedown. Like they came out, we played their songs basically with full band, with 'em, which is cool.
Those are some great music. I know all of them personally.
Yeah, Zach's
And
is shit. They're all fucking great.
yeah, they are all practitioners of their instruments. So to get the nod from them,
That's what
that
I'm
means you're
saying.
doing something right.
That
Yeah.
was real
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, that was cool.
But
You got a new
What
again,
song
about
coming out tomorrow.
what
What's
happened before Brett Young? That's what I want to know. Like what were the early years?
Okay. So in 20, I knew what I wanted to do when I was a kid, probably sixth or seventh grade. I was already in bands. I was like, the real world is not meant, I'm not meant to do all the real world mumbo jumbo. And I thought my band was gonna get signed out of high school. Like I was looking up to guys who like had to finish their GED or something on the road because of touring. Like obviously that didn't happen. I went to a music school in Colorado Springs for a year. My dad's a minister, so it was kind of church centric that way. But sure enough, I became the screamer of a hardcore band out there. Did that, almost signed a tooth and nail. But I was only eight. I was 18 years old. I was just a kid. So came back to Michigan. I was in a band called Take the City, like the Warped Tour years. Did that for a bunch of stuff, and then right around that 2010 mark was like, yeah, maybe 2011. I don't know. It was like it switched. It went from like, yo, rock and roll dream to like, yo, we have to be an adult and make some fucking money, you know? Okay. So then went through a whole bar gig phase. I still do that. I mean, ultimately, that's what my spare time I still do. But 2013, I moved to Nashville, because it was either, sell drugs and keep fighting or go to music full time. And so I moved, didn't know anybody, just couch surfed, did the whole thing. Took me like 2 years or so to get a gig. I literally was singing karaoke at Alan Jackson's spot just because there was no place I could like get a gig. Did that. And Nashville has these things called writers rounds. I don't know if you're all familiar with that thing, but it's like you
Yep.
sit down and do that shit. And I met Brett at one of these things in front of like 40 people. It was me, Brett, and somebody else. We were both nobodies. And he was like, yo, my guitar player backed out. Can you play with me in Atlanta next week? I don't know her. That was it. Crazy.
wow.
And Brett didn't like, I didn't become on salary full time. So then I went through this phase of like playing for Brett. I played for Fillmore. I played for Jay Allen. I played for, like, I was, you know, Thursday with him. I'd fly back. I'd drive to go to Chattanooga to go play with Brett. So I was kind of doing a bunch of stuff. I was just freelancing. I was the worst bartender you'll ever meet in your damn life. So you could only, putting the headphones in, lifting kegs is one thing. But as soon as I saw the avenue to like, be able to play music full time, I think it was like maybe 3 years in to me living here. I was like, I've been full time ever since. I haven't gone back. So
I went to
Wow.
I went to college with Brad Sanderson. Brad owns the Stage, Second Fiddle,
okay,
Crossroads, and Legends, and
okay,
we went to school together in Memphis. I stayed in Memphis. I'm like a Memphis studio guy,
okay,
and
awesome.
I kind of tried to cut my teeth on the Nashville thing, and I just kind of hung it up with regards to Nashville, because I
Yeah,
was like, man, I'm more of a rock and roll meets soul, like Allman Brothers guitar player,
yeah,
and that's more conducive to like a Memphis thing than the Nashville thing. But I have a very strong appreciation and respect for you Nashville cats that grinded it out like that, man. That Broadway thing is no joke.
yeah. Whoops your
Yeah, we
ass,
got
bro.
another buddy, Dango, who plays drums for Amber Pacific. He was out with Scott Stapp.
Okay, okay,
So
that sounds
he's a Nashville guy. He's does the circuit all the time when he's not out touring with somebody. But he's Amber Pacific is dropping an album. I think tomorrow is their new album comes out finally.
I've not heard that name in so long. Amber, that's crazy.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
go on
no,
an email kick after this.
yeah, no, yeah. It's crazy. I met their touring guitar player a couple years ago, and then ended up becoming friends with Dango. And
Wow.
he's like, "Yeah, dude, I'm the drummer from Amber Pacific." I'm like, "What the fuck? Really? No
Yeah,
way! So crazy." Because like I go back in the whole Christian music scene. Like one of the first bands I managed, we actually got signed to Tooth and Nail back, let's say like 2003, 2004-ish. The
heyday.
kids were all like 13, 14 years old, and we were set to go out on a big tour. The parents were like, "Yeah, no." And, so Tooth and Nail dropped them. I'm like, "Oh," but that was kind of like my first big experience with getting a band signed and kind of doing the whole thing and
Yeah.
making friends with the Tooth and Nail team. And
What was that band? What was that band called?
they're called One Sided. They're a screamo
Okay.
band. They played with Pillar, Skillet, freaking
Oh, yeah.
some of the weirdest. Like went out with Toby Mac one time. So it was just a bunch of kids, junior high, high school kids. I was friends with one of the parents, and they're like, "Hey, our kids are super talented." I'm like, "All right, cool." So I listened to them, had them play a bunch of shows around my town, and they blew up here. Like they were selling 500 tickets every time we put them at a show, headlining here. So I'm
Yeah.
like, awesome. So I sent their demo into Tooth and Nail. Tooth and Nail's like, hell yeah, this is what we want. There's screamo. It's perfect. They got signed. They were set to go. I think it was Pillar. They were set to go out on a big nationwide tour, and the parents are like, "No, they're all still in school. They're gonna finish school." And Tooth and Nail's like, "Yeah, sorry guys, that's it."
I would have stole a sucker from a kid back in the day for something like that.
Yeah, so I'm still
Right.
friends
I'm
with it.
saying.
All the guys still live here, so it's cool to see. Like they're all growing up now. One of them is still doing music. He has a song that's going to be on The Rookie in like 2 weeks on the TV
Okay.
show The Rookie. He's got 3 minutes of his song. It's going to play over a montage on the show.
Very
So
cool.
Very
Very
cool.
he's
cool.
still doing it. Still, he kind of went from screamo to country, acoustic, indie
Yeah.
rock, kind of a completely different. Didn't think I'd ever see him do what he's doing now. So it's kind of cool to see that.
You gotta make that pivot at some point, especially if
Yeah.
it's, and most of us have been through it. If you love it, you gotta, it's necessary evil to go through that shit. But
I'm
Yeah.
so,
doing it
So
but
again
it
at
keeps happening.
47 years old, man. I'm
I was
scared
just gonna
shitless.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say that Scott, he's making that change right now, leaving his comfort zone and fucking killing it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. He
Yeah,
just
that's
yeah.
awesome.
announced, go ahead and you can tell everybody, Scott, you're right there.
What the overtime tour?
The overtime. Yeah, we can talk about that. We can talk about you just announced you basically are stepping away from Abel for the time being. And
Yeah. I just have to because we're not playing because of some legal stuff. So I started doing solo stuff, and it turned out this gentleman I'm here playing with right now. I'm at his drummer's kitchen with a Jack Daniels bottle and a thing of ginger beer, and I'm playing with Brandon Jordan, who is a guy that opened for me and Paul McCoy from 12 Stones when I did some acoustic shows. So it's just really wild how the world works. I mean, the Brandon Jordan thing is awesome. It's like what I always wanted. It's kind of like it's got a Brantley Gilbert vibe, but I'm able to bring like my Allman Brothers Southern rock thing into my own songwriting instead of having to like write with two other people and a producer, and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's not all manufactured in a lab. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
I really get to be me, and as a
Well,
47-year-old guitar player, that feels pretty good.
fuck yeah.
it's actually really exciting
Congrats,
to see
man.
the whole
Congratulations,
process
bro.
Awesome.
Yeah,
of
that's really
like
cool.
where they started, where we're at. We just hired Barry Lieberman, who's Shinedown's publicist, to do the publicity run for the first three singles. We've got a tour that they're going out with Overtime for 3 months this summer. Just all kinds of crazy stuff. Music videos that are like pro music videos that are we're dropping with the singles. So
Amazing.
hopefully something catches with everything we've got going behind all this stuff. So
Well, before we in this is amazing, and I'm proud of you, Scott. Nick, you're freaking killing it. I love
Yeah.
it. I think
Good to see the boys win. Good to see the
I have
boys
the
winning.
episode of Overtime and behind me, of Grind Lifestyle playing behind me because that was a big day. But I want to get back to before we let Matt go. I want like tell us, about your stuff, about your solo stuff, where it can be
Okay.
found, what three singles are out, what you're going to be putting out next, and then we'll let
hey,
you
you got a new one
go.
dropping tomorrow, right?
Yep, got a brand new one. Yep, comes out at midnight tonight. Little breakup.
Okay.
Wet.
Good for
What's
you,
it
man.
called? Which one is it?
So this one's called "Find Another Heart to Break." Um, I wrote this song pre-quarantine, so it's been around for going on 5 years, 6 years. I wrote it with Matt Rogers, who wrote "Till You Can't" by what's his name, Cowboy dude. Oh,
Oh,
Cody Johnson. Cody
Cody
Johnson.
Johnson. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Cody
So,
Johnson. Yeah.
so, so I've been sitting on it for a minute. Didn't really have um this is all byproduct of, let's say, those 2 years of hard work in between, Brett, and like the jelly stuff. Is I just saved every penny I possibly could, found an investor even to help me own my masters, and I probably did 40 fully tracked, ready to go songs in that little bit of time.
Oh
So
yeah.
Wow.
so I was like kind of shopping, and I was kind of trying to test the playlisting, whatever kind of market. And then finally I was like, I'm sick of fucking waiting. And I was like, all right, this is the deadline, and we're gonna put out a song every month until I run out of songs. And I'm just gonna keep writing, we're just gonna keep doing it until some rolls. So we have a couple different songs, a couple different features. I'm gonna be on a couple other people's different things this year, but yeah, I put out Still Talking, put a song called That Guy, Find Another Heart to Break. I got a song about my wife called God Treated You Good. And then the big summer one we're gonna put a big push on is called Let's Get Drunk and Dance. And it's
Love it.
gonna be good.
I just wrote
That's
one called That Guy. I might have to call it This Guy or something now, just to change it up a little bit.
Hey,
that's awesome. And
hey.
no, did I saw that you had a collab with a female. What song was that? It
Yeah,
was
that's the one that comes out tonight or tomorrow.
okay.
Um,
Amazing.
yeah, and I was on tour. I was on tour, not even really shopping. And my producer sent me like, "Hey, after a write, we just tried something. What do you think?" And I was like, "Yo, like hell yeah, yes, absolutely." So they tightened it up. Um, and that song, even if I wasn't thinking about it, it still got some legs, and we still didn't throw it away because it wasn't my best. You know what I'm saying? It still found its way back to it, and I think there's a lot to be said about that. So there's a lot of songs that we're gonna keep funneling out, and if you give up on the song, bro, who else is gonna see it through, right? So it's like,
Right.
man,
Right.
just get them out there, baby, get them out there.
I
Well,
love it.
you and I absolutely have to get together and write, dude.
Would
Let's
love to
have
do
like
that.
Guitar-mageddon, dude.
Yes. Hey, I mean, I play more like organ. I play more like Allman Brothers organ kind of style now, even than I would do like straight country stuff. Like even more than I'd play rock guitar. So it's like we can definitely collab.
Hey, can I
Man.
can I throw
Love
something
it.
out there because we're
Yeah.
sitting here thinking about this? So Scott came into town and he borrowed a guitar and he was sitting in his suite. This Scott, our Scott, sitting
Yeah.
up on this Scott Bartlett. He borrows a guitar, and I just lost my brother, and at this time, and I wasn't in a space to like entertain, and he wasn't in a space to want to be entertained, and so I loaned him an axe, and he gives me the guitar back and a little piece of music, and it was a verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and he goes, a little note. He's talking, and I loved it because I did a water fast to honor my brother. I'm Native American Indian, and I couldn't do a sweat lodge, so I did this, and I sat down and wrote this song, and I sent it to Scott, And I'm like, hey, thank you, because it was a gift. Scotty, I'm get to tell you in person right now, thank you so much, because I was able to write. I was sitting there thinking about my brother and what is my brother doing now that he's not with me. And that's what this song's about, what I think he's doing right now. And but I hear it as a piano song, and it still needs a bridge. It still needs music
Let's
for
get
a
on it.
bridge
Let's
me
get
to
on it,
write
bro. Come
to.
on.
So this could be something that the three of us could collab on. I could send it to you if you would at least listen to it.
Yeah,
And
for
if you're
sure.
inspired by it, come up with something, because I do hear it as a piano song with acoustic guitar and some strings.
Yeah,
And
church it up, man. Church it up.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
and what I did with this, which will be kind of wild, Scott wrote it in one key. When I wrote it, you know how you do this as a songwriter? I was singing it falsetto and it hit me, and then I'm like, no, I got to do it full voice. So I said it to my buddy. I'm
Lower
like,
down a little bit.
can you lower this on your
Yeah.
computer? He drops it a full step, and then I sang it, and I wrote to it that way. So I'll send it to you when we get off the phone.
Yeah,
If you're
please.
inspired, only if you're inspired by it,
Yeah.
because Scott said we need to write together. This could literally be a co-write, and I would love to have you play piano on it. And I want it for my
I'd love to,
record.
man.
I want it for my album. It's about my brother,
Yeah.
and it needs to be something that I put on this record right
I'd
now.
actually love to get you to Memphis to my studio, Young Avenue Sound. We got we have the piano. It's actually Chuck Leavell's favorite piano in the world to play. And if y'all don't know who Chuck is, Chuck played
Yeah.
with like the Stones. He was the Allman Brothers guitar player when Dwayne
Wow.
Allman died. He played everything on keys. So instead of two guitars, the Allman Brothers switched to piano and guitar for a minute. We own that piano.
I would love
So
Oh,
love to come out to Memphis. I mean, it's only 3 hours away, whatever it is. Ain't nothing.
wow. Wow.
let's
Yeah.
do
So
it.
anyway, yeah, like if you,
Let's
Scott,
make it
if you
happen.
don't
Let's
mind, I
make it
would love
happen.
to do that. I'll send it to Matt. And yeah, thank you, Matty. I love you, man. Thank
Yeah,
you.
love you too, guys. Hey,
And
This
this
is
is
awesome.
it
Very
great.
was
cool.
like an epiphany, like happening in this moment. I'm like, wait a minute, you're the guy I watch playing keys and guitar and singing your ass off with all the
So
greats. So
some really talented individuals getting ready to get in a room. Can someone please turn on a damn phone recorder? That would be
I'm
great.
on it. I'm
Yeah.
on it.
That
yeah,
I've been
content,
good
yes.
about it.
yeah, huh? Well, Matt, is there one last thing that because this is Grind Lifestyle. This is not only brand, the podcast, everything. Is there anything you would like to leave to our listeners out there right now before we go?
The only time the grind gets the hardest is when take least amount of care of myself. So there's a little inspiration to take care of your business, handle your business, take care of your head, take care of your body, and that's keep your best foot forward. That's probably the best
Can we
advice.
have that is
Well said, dude.
great. Can we have Nick add you to a return guest spot? Maybe do this again in a few months?
Would love to. Absolutely. I'm always down.
Let's do it after
Thank
this
you.
song's written.
After this
Yeah.
song,
Yeah, there you
Go
go.
hey
premiere the
Matt.
song on the episode. That would be badass. I like it.
Yeah, yeah, and that was great. Thank you, Matt. We, on our behalf, I want to say thank you. And when we're done, in 5 minutes or less, you will get the song of me singing it in the car. I ran out to my car and asked my neighbor for her phone and sang into the phone. Seriously,
That's amazing.
and from phone to phone just to get the idea down. And I had come up with the melody and the chorus on a drive to LA. And all of this was new, but then the water fast was the pure answer. And I sent it to Scott going, I hope he likes it. And his response was great. But then I still heard it as piano, and I'm
We can
staring
work
at
on
you
that.
and I
We can work
watched
on it
this
for sure.
happen. Yeah, man. So love you, man. Thank you
Love you,
again.
dog. Appreciate you
Thank
guys.
you.
We'll see you soon, and
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
we'll get another day in the books. All right. Love you guys.
Hey
Awesome.
guys, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching this episode of Grind Lifestyle Podcast. Sorry about our break. Winter happens, snow happens, things happen. We're back at it. You're ready to see episodes rolling out. Our goal right now, Nick, is 2 a month minimum, correct?
Yep.
2 a month
Yeah, we'll be
minimum.
bringing on all of the artists that we manage, and talking about their journeys and everything we're doing with them. And
Oh yeah.
Brian's going to come on and talk about his new stuff. So it's going to be a
Go smash those buttons, like, subscribe, do all your good stuff. We are Grind Lifestyle. Peace.